Hi everybody, John Hemlock here, bringing to you the Fallen Protectors video, and in particularly tanking Hay Softfoot. So this is from our first kill in the flex rating level, and it was our last attempt of the night. I don't know if anybody knows that or not, but it was, we'd been touch and go all night with these guys. We stuck it out for one or two extra tries even after some folks had to leave. But we got him this try, and here's me tanking Hay Softfoot. There's three things that Hay Softfoot does. The most dangerous one is gouge. Um, what you have to do with gouge is you have to turn your back to him, or he stuns you and immediately attacks somebody else. And it's a bad thing. And the thing to note about gouge is if he stuns you and goes and attacks somebody else, and he does it to me right there, but I got my back turned to him. If he does go attack somebody else, once you're unstunned, he's not just going to come back to you. You actually have to taunt him to get him to stop attacking them. So it's very important to, first of all, not get gouged. And second of all, if you do, when you get out, you've immediately got to taunt him as soon as you get back up. He does two other things. One is instant poison. The other one is noxious poison, I think. Instant poison is supposed to be a big deal. Didn't seem like a big deal to me. I think on flex maybe it doesn't do very much damage. I kind of ignored it. For the most part, when he casted it, I did maybe a few shield barriers to absorb some of that damage, but it was not a big deal at the flex level. The other thing you'll see me doing here early in the fight is tanking him on top of the kill target, just to get some Blade Flurry, Cleave, Whirlwind damage in on him. I'm not sure we'll keep doing that. It was kind of a pain, especially here. You can see everybody's getting knocked around. I'm not sure where the kill target is, but that's what we were doing for this attempt. We may do it again. We may try to keep him in there. So if you are trying to tank him in on top of everybody else, the only thing you have to watch out for is when he casts Noxious Poison, and when that happens, then you no longer want to tank him on top of the rest of the raid. There you can see another gouge that I successfully turned my back on. Now here's the most dangerous part of the fight if you're tanking Hay Softfoot, is this guy. He hits very, very, very hard, and his damage ramps up. And I did it completely wrong the first few times we tanked him. I said, well, this guy hits hard, I'll start blowing cooldowns. But it ramps up. So at first it's pretty manageable, but at the end it gets very bad. And so what I try to do is use some of my minor cooldowns, and it gets around 35%, 30%, hit shield wall, which is my big one, which I did just there. And that enables me to survive through this anguish in pretty good order. But in my mind, the DPS check of the fight is killing that anguish. If you listen to the video that I posted on the regular video channel or the regular video forum, you can hear H actually call for DPS cooldowns during those guys. The other thing about this fight, it was terrifically laggy. I'm not blaming lag on it. Right there you can see that I got hit by a gouge even though I thought I was turning the other way. But I immediately used every man for himself and taunted him, and so there was really no harm done. But it's tough. I mean, this is really laggy for me. It's the laggiest fight I have ever seen in the World of Warcraft. Could be just because it was the first night of an expansion. I don't know. But if you do get gouged and you have a way to break a stun, every man certainly is a good one, then you want to use that and go taunt him and get him off whoever he's chewing on. So again there, I thought my back was turned. From my camera it looked like it was. It wasn't. I got gouged. He is now eating Skitch. But as soon as I get unstunned, I taunt him. Skitch ice blocked or something, I don't know, but he lived, luckily. Kind of a surprise, actually, that he lived. But I was able to pick him back up. I think those are the only two gouges I missed. And just between you and I, anytime you see me get gouged or stand in Noxious Poison, we can both agree as friends and brothers that it was lag. So there's a gouge coming. I get my back turned to him. Easy enough. I kind of gave up at this point trying to tank him on top of the kill target, to be honest with you. It wasn't worth it to go in there, get some extra DPS, and have him drop noxious poison or something like that. Early in the fight, it's pretty easy to deal with. Later, it's pretty hard, and I'm not sure it's worth it, but. And maybe it is, and I should have done it. There's another gouge. Turn around. Not a big deal if you turn around. And then he's going to go down. You're going to see the other guy come back up, the Anguish. And what you'll see is basically the same thing. When the Anguish comes, I kind of try to hang with him as long as I can, just eating the damage. And people did a great job, by the way, on this try of targeting me and using an extra action button, because he didn't attack anybody else before he came to me. But mainly what I'll try to do as a tank is I'll try to kind of use some minor cooldowns going through here. You get him to 70%. I use Last Stand. Using my active mitigation as much as I can, my self-heals as much as I can. And when it gets around 35% or so, that's when you go to shield wall and the big boys, because it really starts to hurt. You can see shield wall, hellstone, whatever you got in your bag there. And this is the one where H actually called for DPS cooldowns, and it was touch and go. It was a near thing. Shield wall had worn off here by the time we killed him, and I was probably 3 or 4 seconds away from death if we couldn't get him burned down. But we did, so that was good. So now it's back to more of the same. And now I feel like we're getting close, so I'm going to drag him in here and blade flurry away, rogues. Another gouge. Now here comes the bubble and the lag. Like I say, this was terrible lag. I've never experienced lag like this. My rig isn't the best, but I've never had things slow down like this for me. I'm at about 6 or 4 frames per second here. And for some reason, every single mob inside the circle turns blue, which means they're attacking me. I think it's because I'm sexy. And I do spend a lot of time this fight with perilously low health. Mainly, I think, just because it's a new fight for us. So the most amazing part of this fight to me was this part right here. If you watch the other video, the unnarrated version with the audio intact, is honesty in a fight we've never seen, in a place we've never been in, calling DPS like a champ. Whatever he says, I don't even remember, but he's getting the DPS on the target they need to be on so that these guys all die within 10 seconds of each other. There's me eating noxious poison. We'll call that lag. But yeah, that's the best part of this whole fight to me, is watching that video. If you watch it 2 or 3 times, I'm just amazed that he can do anything and also raid lead at the same time. So it's pretty remarkable the way that he's calling the shots here. And I'm only turning my back on gouge and maybe using a little active mitigation on instant poison or something. This is pretty run-of-the-mill. And I actually kind of freaked out a little bit here when he goes to 1 hit point and then he starts to cast something. I can't read it here on my screen, but he starts to cast something. I was like, well, what? I can't interrupt this. What's going on? But it turns out it was because he was dead. And you can disregard when I type over there in my chat window, double loot. We had come into a new instance and killed